Well, hello everyone. Do you have a pipe on the side of your house? You don't even know what it goes to, but it's dripping water and you're wondering why? Well, that's what this video is going to be about. We have a drain pipe coming out of the soffit on the edge of our house. Most houses will have something like this, tract home, custom home, whatever. You'll have a pipe coming out your soffit or the side on one of your eaves, usually near a window. They do that on purpose so that way you can see this water dripping out. But what it is it's actually your air conditioner, or at least that's typically what it is. There are some other things that could be like a hot water heater, but usually this is your air conditioner. So on ours, what this is telling me by this water dripping down right here is that the secondary drain is being used for all the humidity that's getting sucked out from the air conditioner, which should normally go to the primary drain, which is typically hooked up to a bathroom sink or something like that. There's a drain pan that's underneath your air conditioner's coil, which is collecting the water dripping off. It's dripping down into that pan, and that pan has two outlets. It has a primary outlet and a secondary outlet. The primary outlet will typically drip down into a sink. Now, if that drain clogs, it goes and it fills up a little more water in that pan, which then gets to your secondary drain pipe. And the secondary will typically drip out the side of your house like this, and it will drip down basically onto the grass. Like this is just dripping in this spot in the grass. And if you can hear it, it's coming down pretty good. We know what the problem is now, so how do we fix it? Let me go show you how to do that. All right, so here is our AC coils here, and here's our furnace. There's our media filter and the inlets for our AC. But anyways, the air blows through here. As the air blows through, then it of course blows it out the ductwork, right? Well, as that's getting cold, it's building up condensation, and that condensation needs a place to go. So it will drip down into the bottom of the unit, and then there's these two pipes. There are two pipes or two connections that allow water to drain out of that housing. So one is here. The lower one is the primary one, which goes this way, there goes the AC unit, goes out, and it connects to a drain in one of our bathrooms underneath the sink. So that's the primary drain. And when that primary drain, if it gets clogged, it can get clogged, in here, pretty much anywhere. When that gets clogged, then it has a secondary drain, a backup drain, which is this pipe here. And that pipe goes all the way out to the side of the house, and it comes out the soffit, which is what you saw earlier in the video, and that's where the water will drip. That pipe is a secondary, so you should not have water coming out of there because your primary should be working. But the secondary's there to say, hey, primary's clogged, I need a place to put this water, because you don't want it all in your attic. So basically that's it. That's what I got to do, is come in and fix this. All right, so now we are in one of our bathrooms. This is technically the guest bathroom in our home. But see how you have your standard P-trap connection coming from your sink. Well, there's this extra hose here. This is how I identified where it was. That normally isn't part of, your sink. So this one, I'm pretty sure, is the drain coming out of the attic down into this bathroom to let the water drain from the air conditioner into this P-trap pipe. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. I'm gonna put our shop vac underneath there to try to catch as much water as I can. And I'm just gonna try to clean this out, so. Anyways, this is the bottom of our shop vac, and I took the top off so it would drain into here. And this hose is just held on by a pipe clamp. I loosened the pipe clamp, and I'm going to push it to the back. So I undid both pipe clamps, and that rubber pipe there is just a little too rigid to try to move back or forth to get it off. So I'm just going to take the whole P-trap off and let it drain that way. So take the P-trap off, you undo these two little pieces here of the pipe, and it takes the compression off and lets you just pull it down. All right, so there is the, I guess, J pipe, whatever you want to call it, But as you can see, here's this pipe, and that is the pipe where the drain would come from the air conditioner. Now, this is a guest bathroom that doesn't get used very much, but look at that. I mean, that's nasty, you know. So it doesn't take that much, I guess, for these things to just really build up and get nasty. So these are going to be cleaned before I put them back on. And as you can see, it's pulled off, and that rubber hose there is the pipe from the air conditioner. So now that I've let the basics drain, and I'm going to tape up that hose there, and I am going to let the shop vac just suck whatever's in that pipe out. All right, so I have the hose of this shop vac ran, as you can see, to the shop vac. There's my little 5 horsepower, 4-gallon shop vac. And I use this quite a bit. It's a pretty good little shop vac. But anyways, I'm going to put some tape around that. Or actually, I'm probably just going to wrap some plastic or even hold it with my hands. We'll see what works. But it usually doesn't take that much to suck out the gunk that's in there, unless it's just really gotten hardened. But I'll get me a helper to hold this camera while I'm doing that, so y'all can actually see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to turn this vacuum on. We're going to see how much is pouring out. All right, so that's the water pouring out of the attic. And I'm letting that drain into the hose. All right, so now that I've got it vacuumed out and cleaned out, I left the vacuum hose on here because the air conditioner is still dripping constantly humidity, condensated water down there. So this is just collecting the drips of water while I'm getting ready to put that in. So now I'm just going to put the J-pipe in for the P-trap, and then I'm going to put this back in and connect it back in. All right, so I've got it all back together, and what you want to do is leave this clean for just a little bit. You want to run the water so that way the water can run in here and fill up this P-trap. And then you need to let it sit for, I don't know, an hour or so, just to make sure there's no water dripping underneath, make sure there's no water down here, because most of these track-built homes, it's just particle board, and these cabinets will deteriorate and fall apart, but should be good to go. Now, all of this could have been avoided by doing regular maintenance, and I'll discuss that in a sec. All right, so I'm back up in the attic. This is basically what you need to do for maintenance. Now, there's different things you can do, different stuff you can use. If you look online, there's going to be people telling you different things, but the vast majority of everybody will say vinegar or Clorox, or bleach, I mean. So you have these two options. Most people have these in their home. This is what people recommend to maintenance your drain lines for your AC. Give you a little overview real quick on the differences. So Clorox, bleach, you know, whatever, it's bleach. But the main active ingredient in bleach is chlorine. Chlorine is a corrosive chemical, especially to metal. So a lot of people will say, use bleach, it kills germs, it kills mold, everything, great. But if it gets into your AC system or backwashes in somehow, you have a high chance of starting the corrosion process in your coil. Does that mean you can't? No. I mean, you do what you want, right? And especially on a unit like mine, look at how long those drain lines are and how far they are away from the unit. Both of my lines drop pretty significantly right out of the unit. So the chances that me slowly pouring bleach in these clean outs here and that chlorine getting back into the unit is pretty slim. But not everybody's unit is like this. Some people's units will have these maintenance ports and clean outs right up next to the unit, like right there. Would I use bleach if I didn't have this slope and everything else and it was right up on next to my unit? No way, absolutely not. I've seen what chlorine will do to metal, and it's not good. So then I would use vinegar. Well, some people say don't even use vinegar, because vinegar, although not a corrosive, it's an acid. I mean, basically that's what makes it work. This one is 5% acidity, right? It's acidic, and It could eat away at the metal. But again, what are your drain lines like? If your drain lines have a huge slope, the chances of that getting into your system is small. As long as you don't start gushing it in and blowing it into there, then you're not going to really have that problem probably. I would just pour slowly vinegar into that clean out line there, and you know, it's not going to make it past the P-trap going back up. It's going to work its way down. I could totally use bleach and it probably wouldn't be an issue at all with the way my drain lines are. You have to use a little bit of common sense and understand how liquids flow to find out if you're going to be getting vinegar or chlorine into your unit. Basically, you'll use one of these liquids, whichever you choose. Bring you a little cup because you want to do just small amounts at a time. You don't want to just pour it in there. You pour it in very slowly so that way none of it works its way back up the drain line. You want it to work its way down the drain line, and you just want to get enough in there, you know, maybe a cup of whatever liquid you choose. You slowly pour it in and let that slowly go down the drain line, coat the lines, and kill whatever's in those lines that are making the buildup. And that's what I'm fixing to do, is I'm gonna put this vinegar into that red cup and pour it into that maintenance port right there, that clean out. All right, vinegar's a clear liquid, but you can probably see, I would say I have about a cup of vinegar in there. And I'm gonna take this red Solo cup and I'm gonna come over here to this maintenance port or clean out port, and I am just gonna very slowly pour it in there. As long as you don't pour it in there too quickly, there's no reason that that liquid would go backwards up the P-trap and back into the unit. But anyways, basically that's all you do. You should do this about once a month. Obviously I haven't been doing it because I had to clean it out. That should prevent the buildup of all the gunk that was in there from happening again. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, which is liking the video. Subscribe to the channel, it's very helpful to me. It's absolutely free, you don't have to pay anything to subscribe. So hit that subscribe button. All right, well that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video, and until the next one, y'all take care.